Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy OG Fabio back here with the final podcast of 2024. Yes, we're finally at the end of the year, and man, has it been a year. This channel has had its ups and downs this year. You know, there was a while that I was gone. There was a while that I was posting a podcast maybe every 3 weeks, but we're in the present, and man, I think it's been a good run for the last I would say like 3 months of the year. I've been trying to post as much as possible. You know, resistance was kicking me in the ass a little bit. I can't lie to you guys. And that's actually what I wanted to talk about for this podcast to end off the year. Also, by the way, I haven't even talked about it. This is the new setup, guys. Yes, this is gonna be the solo podcast setup. I'm gonna have another podcast with guests outside in my living room. It's gonna be in another part of the house, but we're finally set up at a new location, man, and then it feels good. It feels good not having to worry what fucking park I'm gonna go to. Hopefully there's no people there. Hopefully it's not raining. Hopefully they have something to cover me. We don't gotta worry about that no more. We're here at the setup. It's I've done as much as possible. You guys probably recognize a lot of the old decorations from the old setup, but it's new and we're here, and I'm so super grateful for life, for bringing this to me, giving me this opportunity, being able to talk to you guys at the end of the year and just start off the new year with you guys. We've got a lot of new subscribers. Very grateful to man, everyone that's been on the pod this year, all the reoccurring guests and all the new guests. I brought in a lot of new guests. Not as many as I wanted to, but that's what 2025 is for, right? Or not even 2025, the present. We're just going to keep getting better. I hope you guys really enjoy the process that we're going through. I know it's not too glamorous right now, but promise we're going there. We're going there, all right? We're going to get there. We just got to put in the work. That's all it is. That's what it is for everybody. But through that hard work, there's those times when you feel like life is coming against you, almost like it's trying to sabotage your journey. When I say speed bumps, it's quite literal. Like, when you're driving down a road and for some reason it has like 40,000 fucking speed bumps, but then you finally get to your location and each of those speed bumps is like trying to fuck your car up and it's trying to make your car worse. You fucking scrape it on the bottom, you fucking hit the bottom, your fucking muffler, whatever the fuck it hits. Especially if you got a low car, you fucking dropped cars, motherfuckers, drop trucks, all that shit. You know what I'm talking about. It's there to slow you down, to stop you from getting to your destination. But you're still going to get there. It's just going to take a little bit longer because of 2-3 speed bumps. Well, I started thinking about it and I'm like, man, I feel like through life we have thousands of speed bumps. Thousands, like really like non-stop speed bumps. Like we're that neighborhood that was like very nice and shit, and then people started fucking driving their cars fast, so the fucking people would get like the fucking the city or whatever, they're like, we need to slow these motherfuckers down, and they put these speed bumps to slow us down. Well, I'm not gonna say who it is that's putting these speed bumps in our lives, but something in the universe, something in whatever is running this whole thing, running our path, our destiny, if you want to call it. They set these speed bumps into our lives, and a speed bump can end your whole momentum. Because I've always said this: life is a bunch of momentum. It's one time, for a time life is good, and then something happens where it starts switching and it starts snowballing. I've talked about the snowball effect, where one thing happens and then another bad thing and another bad thing and another bad thing, and it's almost like it's piling up against us. We don't know what we did to deserve it, or we're very sometimes we get resentful. I know at times when life is coming at me super hard, pause, you start questioning who is causing this, and you start blaming people for it, and you, like I said, you become resentful towards other people because you believe that these people caused all this, or your scenario, your life did all this to you. But in reality, it's it's just life. It's just life coming at you. That's what's going to be part of the journey. It's not going to be a smooth path. You're going to hit a few, not even, sometimes you hit a pothole, your fucking tire is fucking deflated, it's popped, whatever. You got to switch the whole fucking, you got to call someone for help. You got to bring that motherfucker back to the shop. You got to change the tire. You're just down fucking like $300, whatever, however much it costs. So it's, there's different size of these speed bumps that we get in life. And man, I just hit a fucking, oh my god, it's like a fucking rhino hit my car. Like I fucking literally got rammed on the side of the head. I was, man, I was working on the God Mode podcast. I really appreciate everybody who was a part of that podcast. My boy LJ, my boy Mr. Lewis, Coach. They not only did they give me a dope conversation that I learned so much from. I was able to hear three different experiences, three different stories, but three almost the same messages. It was like it was the same message with three different messengers. And so I was super grateful for that already. And then the podcast comes out and everyone's loving it. I have friends hitting me up. Shout out my boy Edwin. He sent me a message telling me, man, that was a really motivational one, and that's something that it's professional. It's a real podcast. I really enjoyed it. And man, and when he told me that, I just felt like, damn, this is like the first podcast where really feel like I'm a podcaster, and I could show people like this is what I can do. This is what these are the levels that I'm trying to, not just reach that level every podcast, exceed that level every single podcast. So thank you guys so much for showing the support. Thank you to those three men for not only being on the podcast, but after that being super supportive, freaking posting it everywhere, exposing it. We're we got a lot of good feedback on that. So I'm very appreciative to the people who enjoyed it, and the people who made it happen, and the universe for setting us there, for giving us that opportunity there. But back to my my main point, speed bumps. How does that have to do with speed bumps? Well, first of all, that podcast almost didn't happen. That podcast was like on and off. Like we would have to reschedule. We were supposed to do that shit like 2, 3, like maybe a month ago. I had met them at a little concert that they were having here in South Sac. So I was like, man, I was trying to make it happen. We couldn't align our schedule, so it almost didn't happen. My ego was a little hurt. Like, damn, maybe these guys don't want to be on the podcast that much. But then I was like, no, that's just my inner thoughts just running over my head, like trying to stop me from doing this. And so I I almost didn't happen, guys. It was that day, and it was only supposed to be me and LJ, like I said in the podcast. But we showed up at Mr. Lewis's house. We started setting up. Coach came, and we're like, damn, we're gonna be all four of us. Bet. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I was a little intimidated at first because it was three grown men, way old, like not way older than me, but they have their years ahead of me. And so I had to think to myself, okay, how can I make this a podcast not about me, about listening to them? And I was like kind of getting nervous, but you know what? I'm gonna march through it. And sure enough, it came out cool. But I had planned it out. So the way I planned it out is I was gonna edit the whole thing, kind of like cut through the camera angles, fix the audio as much as I could, because it was really low. I really regret not putting more time into the audio for that one, because it could have been, I think, a lot better with the right audio. The audio levels are really, really low, and it's just because it was a new machine. I didn't really know how to work it. I seen it, and I was just so amazed that I didn't want to touch it too much because it wasn't mine. And I was just like, okay, let me give them a little bit more control. But I was still able to fix the audio. which is another small speed bump. But either way, you know, fuck, I don't even know where I was at. Damn, I lost train of thought. Either way, so my schedule for that podcast was I was gonna edit it for them, and I was gonna give it out to them so that they could have the full podcast. No, none of my stuff, in the clouds, the intro and all that with my freaking outro and all that. But I was literally I was damn near finished. I was just, if you guys watched the podcast, I had moments where I had to pop up a picture of LJ because the camera cut out, and I needed a picture from Mr. Lewis that we took. I was like, hey, can you send me this picture? I needed to finish this, to finish the podcast. And it was taking a while for him to respond. So I was like, all right, let me work on something else. Let me work on these songs that I have still. So I was working on that, and man, they were coming out so good. I was finally starting to understand like the voice EQ and kind of like fixing the ranges, compressor, adding a little bit more compressor where it matters, and not adding too much, gain on certain stuff. It started fading out. It was coming out so nice. And as soon as I was all fucking cheered up, fucking in a good mood. I don't know what I do exactly. I think I go on my phone, turn this way, and it was a small desk. It's a really small desk. My computer's right here. And I go, turn, and I knock my coffee all over my laptop. It was all on my keyboard. Now, this is just I'm just really fucking stupid. Like, I know that. You know, I should have been more careful with that. But I was furious. I was in that for for a split second, for a good while. I was really, really mad, and I was like, man. But I wasn't mad to the point where I was like gonna fucking rage out. I was just mad that it felt like life was just coming at me like, here, motherfucker, deal with this now. And I'm just there sitting there like, fuck. And that right away, I turned that shit off. I fucking put it in rice, did all that fucking techie shit, and tried to turn it back on. Didn't work, which is somewhere where I fucked up too, because you're not supposed to try to turn it back on for a while, because you don't want to let electricity run through it. But decided to opened it up. I was like, looking at the motherboard. It was a little bit of corrosion, a little explosion there, and I was just like, damn, man, this shit is fried. So I closed it back up, and I just sat there for a second and just like, damn, man, what am I gonna do? And in my head, I had, it was really two options. I could have been mad as fuck and just fucking dropped everything. Fuck this podcast. Fuck everything. I mean, I know I had people um, expecting a podcast because of the three guys. We were already talking about it. I was already telling them, but I was just done. I was like, this is what life hits me with right now. As soon as I'm fucking doing good and I'm trying to stay on the path of righteousness, of following what I want to do, life hits me with a fucking coffee spill out of everything. And everything's racing through my head. How the fuck am I gonna tell people this? They're not gonna fucking believe me. They're gonna think I'm a fucking retard. First of all, excuse my language, but they're gonna think I'm fucking stupid for spilling coffee on my fucking computer. So I was just, everything going through my head, and I was like, I can't do this fucking podcast no more, man. It's really fucking just coming at me like, what the fuck? But then I started thinking, and I was like, man, life is a motherfucker, and he or she, whatever the fuck life is, whatever pronoun he goes by or it goes by, this motherfucker wants to see me down. It doesn't want to see me fucking win. And I know it sounds like some fucking motivational bullshit, but it is, because I don't know where the fuck I was going with that. I was trying to bring that back, but it didn't work. But I just looked at it, and I was like, this is showing me what the fuck I need to do. It's not, it was, I could take it as something that's bad and something negative, but I took it as a sign telling me, you want this? You really want this? All right, now deal with this. I'm gonna put this in front of you. If you really want it, you're gonna get over it. You can't just let it fucking take you down. And it was it was almost like, okay, this is what I need to do. This is what I need to do in life. Life is trying to stop me as much as possible. It's throwing these things. Now that I've overcome the mind stuff of telling myself do it, of waking up and being strong, now it's gonna throw the worst at me. It's gonna throw a fucking tsunami. It's gonna throw a fucking earthquake. It's gonna throw hurricanes, fucking fires, everything that it can to stop me from reaching that point. And man, it threw me that. It threw me a fucking pretty much my whole computer is my whole life. I know it sounds fucked up, but it's my whole life. This is where I do my podcast. It's where I do my music. It's where I create stuff. Photoshop, fucking Final Cut, Adobe, fucking GarageBand, whatever the fuck I'm working on. It's gonna be on a computer. So for life to just say, nope, I'm gonna take that away from you. It was just it was a big fucking finger in the ass. I don't know what to say. It was a big something, and it just it just it could have paralyzed me. It could have just stopped me from doing what I needed to do, but I realized what it was. And once you realize what a speed bump is and what it's doing to your life, you start going for those speed bumps. You start hitting those speed bumps even more and more. Because, like I said, life is trying to stop you from reaching that person that you're supposed to become. You know, like, I mean, not to bring religion into this, but I just had a podcast with Jiren. You guys have, again, I'm also very grateful for him for being on a podcast. That one really helped me, I think, break out my shell of thinking that I'm just this nobody podcaster. Like, I was like, when I got together and was working with him, and I texted him, I knew that I had to come correct. Like, I knew I had to come as a real podcaster. I couldn't come as, no, oh man, you want to hop on my podcast, just some fun shit. No, this is a real podcast. This is where we talk about stuff. This is where we, I'm not saying we're gonna get serious about fucking, I mean, sometimes we do talk about the meaning of life, but we're not gonna talk about fucking the political state and what the fucking stock market is looking like. But we're gonna talk about some real stuff. So I gotta come with a real mindset, with a professional mindset. And so I want to thank him for almost unlocking that in me. And so we were doing a podcast yesterday, and it was very much it was not very much. I was trying to steer it away a little bit more. Like, I love talking with Jiren and stuff, but sometimes the God stuff can kind of it could put some people off when they hear a lot about God. So I was just trying to kind of steer it a little bit. Like, I understood the message, and I liked the message. I'm not against it at all, but I wanted to kind of keep it more, uptone, kind of like talking about what the new year was. But we still talked about a lot of deep stuff, and we were talking about, like, the Bible even talks about trials and tribulations. You are set with these challenges that you have to overcome in order to meet God. And that's not what I'm really looking for, but I could take the message behind that and saying, to find my higher self, to find that higher consciousness, you have to fight through obstacles nonstop. And I think I've made a fucking a podcast about obstacles, but this doesn't feel like an obstacle. It feels like a little bump in life, because you have to keep going. There's sometimes obstacles that are right in front of you that you have to face up front. A speed bump is more, you're driving and you just hit it and it fucks up your car a little bit. You got to rethink a little bit, and then you fucking have to keep going. That's what it felt like, because I had that podcast in front of me and I had it almost ready to save, and then all I had to do was put in my little in the cloud stuff, and it just it it fucking went the completely opposite way. It literally stopped me from releasing a podcast. It stopped me from working. It stopped me from doing what the hell I had to do. And now I was stuck with, what do I do? And I was trying to get it working right away. I was trying to, clean it up, open it up, and just think forward. I couldn't have the money to just fix it right away. So I was like, maybe if I could just clean it up a little bit, maybe I could get it back working. Sure enough, it didn't work. And so I was like, all right, we're just gonna keep moving forward. I'm gonna find a way to release this podcast, which I wasn't able to because again, shout out to my boy Edwin. He lent me his laptop, so he helped me through that struggle, and I was able to release it for you guys. But then I was still thinking about my own laptop. I was like, man, I gotta get this fixed. If I can't get it fixed, I mean, I that's what I thought at first. I was like, okay, I think I can still get it fixed. I mean, it has a little bit of corrosion, but it wasn't really by the power supply, so I thought it was good. And so I was like, I'm gonna just hold it off. I'm gonna post this podcast. I still had to move into the new setup, so I had to worry about that. It was literally the day before I had to move in. I forgot to add that. That's what makes it even more fucking funny. The next day I had to move into my new apartment. So my plan was, I'm gonna give him the podcast. I'm gonna move into my new apartment, work on it in my new apartment, have it done by Monday. Boom. Of course, that fucking happens. Now I had to deal with that, and I have to move in the next day. So I deal with the moving in. I get the podcast out a week later, but it's out, and now I'm set with, or I need to fix this. So of course I took it to the Apple store. Went to the mall, took it to the Apple store, and they're telling me, yeah, man, this I can already smell it. It doesn't smell like it's working anymore. It smells like coffee. Um, you don't have Apple coverage, whatever the fuck it's called. You're gonna need to pay at least 1,000 for just to send it out and get your files back. And I was like, what? I'm gonna have to just fucking pay 1,000 just to get my files back? Not even a guarantee that my shit's gonna work again? Yeah, no. And the dude was like, yeah, man, I understand. You might as well just get a new laptop. So I was like, another fucking speed bump. I'm not gonna be able to get my files back. I can't edit on anything that's not a freaking laptop, because if it's like a phone or something, it's just too big of files. So I was just sat there with, again, thoughts, and I just had to keep going forward. I was like, all right. I went back. I had my siblings with me, so I dropped them off. And then my mom was like, hey, if you need to really get a computer, I can help you out. We could, do a credit card on Best Buy, whatever, and we'll get it figured out. So sure enough, I'm all right. We keep moving forward, and although I was excited, I was just moving forward because I knew I couldn't get my hopes up. I knew I just had to keep thinking about how to get the podcast out, how to keep working, and so that's what I did. I went through the day. Christmas passed, and then sure enough, that Thursday, I had told my mom, I was like, I'm gonna go to Best Buy. I'm gonna figure it out. Hopefully, we can get it by today. She was super supportive. She helped me through all of it. Couldn't get it at fucking Best Buy. They didn't. They declined it. They declined. I think they thought it was a scam because I was like there by myself, fucking telling them, "Oh, my mom is gonna approve this credit card, fucking $3,000 loan for this laptop." So I was hit with, yeah, you're not getting it today. And so there I was in the parking lot, hit with three major speed bumps. Three speed bumps where I'm just like, man, what the hell was going on? I was on track for like maybe a week or two. And then life hits me with the computer broken. Life hits me with not being able to recover anything from it. And now I can't even get a new computer. And I was just sitting there like, fuck. And I just started to laugh. I started to laugh. I know it sounds crazy, like I'm a fucking psychopath, like I'm the Joker's son or something, but I just started to laugh because I was like, this is what I'm going to do in life. This is what I'm meant to do. This is what life is stopping me from doing so bad. It wants me to go through this path of non-stop obstacles, not only to make myself better, to make the podcast better, to learn from it, to learn from these things. And I just sat there in the car laughing like, this is this is life. This is what life is really about. It's not about these sunshines and getting these accomplishments. It's about constant battles that you go through within yourself, within life, with what life throws at you. And then sometimes, like I said, it's not just speed bumps that you hit because of life thrown at you. It's also your own mental blockades that you set up that stops you from doing something. Those are the worst, when you've set up a perimeter around your brain that is stopping you from achieving something because you're not letting yourself, you're telling yourself, you're rationalizing, you're doing all these things that's stopping you from doing something. And it's a tough battle that we all face, especially as an artist or as a creator. Not just I'm not saying content creator, I'm saying when you're creating something, it could be anything. You could be creating a table, a podcast, music, movies, whatever the hell you're trying to create. There's always going to be that something against you that's telling you you're not good enough, you're not doing this right, you're not doing this. So we have to go through that, and then life hits you with that last minute fucking stampede of problems and challenges to get in front of you. That way you're off your path, and now you're back to where you're at. You're back to where you're at. So kind of to wrap up this podcast, and I don't want to make it too long because man, it's the new year. We're all trying to go fucking party, so I'm trying to keep this pretty short, end off this year right. How do we get through these speed bumps, and how do we keep it going, And I know it sounds fucking easier said than done, but you just gotta keep pushing, man. If you really want something, there's gonna be challenges in front of you. There's gonna be these things that are set in life that are meant to stop you from reaching your true self, the true person that you want to be. The path that is easier. Sometimes there is those paths that it almost seems like it's set in stone for you, and that's what you're meant to do in life. But once you really think about it, you're like, damn, I'm just going through fucking routines, and I'm going through these muscle memories almost. Like, I'm not really thinking about what the hell I'm doing until you're in it for however long. And you're like, man, I've been living my life like this. I've been living a lie when I should be achieving what I need to achieve, and I need to do the stuff that I'm telling myself I can do, but then stopping myself from doing it. So it's going through that. And even these speed bumps that we face in life, it's the same thing. We can use these speed bumps as ways to tell ourselves that we don't have to do this, that life is showing us not to do it. Or you can take it completely opposite and just say, these are the things, these are life giving me signs that you're gonna really want this, and do this, then fucking get through this. And one of those big moments when I finally realized that is one of the best books. I don't know where the fuck I have it. I think it's in the living room, but The War of Art. I've talked about it a lot. I just read it recently. Read it about maybe 3 times, but this one really hit me the most because I started to understand what resistance really was within myself. And I use that word resistance because it's 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 resisting you, like it's trying to stop you as much as possible to not achieve your goals. And then, like I said, it starts small and then it gets bigger and bigger. But once you start realizing what resistance is, you start thinking to yourself, that's just resistance. This motherfucker is fucking with me. That's just resistance. Fucking life throws me this fucking curveball. That's just resistance trying to stop me. There's a thought in my head that's telling me I'm not good enough. Resistance. It's nice to have a word to it. So I really want to thank that book for being able to show me this is what it is. This is what you got to do to stop it. And it's not just like, oh, okay, you turn. It's a moment in your head where it turns. There's still moments that I fucking get. This morning, I didn't get up until like an hour later than I was supposed to, because I had that resistance in my head. Fuck, I'm so tired. I don't want to get up. And then sure enough, as soon as I get up, I start feeling good. I wake up, I take a shower, I start getting ready, clean the house, and I come here and I'm doing this podcast. So once you start beating resistance, you start noticing it and you start actively fighting against it. You almost start searching for, like, oh, this is hard. Okay, I'm gonna go for this. This is not working. Okay, I need to work it a different way, but I'm gonna figure it out. And so that's what I'm doing now. I know that I'm not gonna be able to get that computer as soon as I thought, but I'm gonna get it. If I put my mind to it, I am gonna put my mind to it, and I'm gonna put the effort, the work, the saving, the sacrifices to doing that, because that's what I really want in life. I don't need these fucking expensive clothes, expensive fucking houses, garages, fucking full of cars. I don't need any of that. I need to fulfill my purpose, and and that's what I'm really hoping for this I was gonna say this year, but I'm really meaning this lifetime, because I know it's not just gonna take this 1 year. It's gonna take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, however long it takes. It's a constant battle, and I just gotta keep marching forward. That's my biggest goal of 2025. Facing these speed bumps and going straight through them. Just keep going. You don't have to slow down for them. You don't have to park your car on the side of the road and check out every single time. No, you can fucking go through that speed bump. It hit a little hard, but fuck it. You gotta keep going. There's no stopping you. There's a fucking cop chasing you. You better fucking go through those speed bumps and fucking go fast. And that's, man, though, sometimes that's what fucking life is. You feel life going faster and faster. You feel death approaching you nearly. So you start getting slowed down by these speed bumps, and that's what they want. That's what life wants. It wants you to slow down, park your car, be chill. You don't gotta go nowhere. Now you're just there, and you're not reaching your destination. And so that's my big goals for 2025. I don't want to be that cliche. I did it last year. I was like, oh, I'm gonna do a comedy fucking full time. I'm taking it serious now. And there I was, the fucking third or fourth week, fucking not wanting to go to an open mic, not going to classes for it, or not going to workshops. So it's a battle, and it's a journey that it's every day. Even if it's a small effort every day, it's better than nothing. It's better than nothing. And as long as I give it an effort every single day, and I increase that effort slowly and slowly and slowly, then I'll finally realize this is the path I'm taking. This is the routine I need. This is what I need. That's good for me. This is what I'm reaching for. This is all that. And man, this is what I want to do with this podcast. Just be able to talk to people and let them know that I'm going through the same struggles that you guys are going through. You guys are trying to get up every day. I'm literally fucking dragging myself out of bed, telling myself, you're not tired. You're not tired. You're not fucking sad. You're not sad. This shit doesn't affect you. That doesn't define you. That fucking moment where you fucking your voice cracked in front of the classroom doesn't fucking have to do anything with you. It's fucking just a moment in life, and it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen millions of times. It's gonna happen thousands, whatever, how many times. But we keep marching and we keep going, and that's all we're doing. 2025. We're gonna keep moving forward. We're not gonna stay, and we're not gonna get comfortable with, oh, this podcast did good, so let me just write it off for a bit. No, we're gonna keep the momentum going, because that's what life is about. Straight momentum. Build it up until you're finally at a high level, and then you could kind of stabilize a little bit. You always want to get better, but sometimes you're gonna hit those moments where you feel like you're at your highest, and you're gonna stay there for a little bit, and then guess what? You might dip a little bit and then go back straight up. Life isn't gonna be this ever. Life doesn't do this. It's gonna do it for maybe like a few months, maybe a few weeks, few days, and then it's gonna go straight back up, because you put in the work, and of course, life is gonna, hopefully, I'm telling myself this. I'm not just telling you guys this. I know this might have came off really, as Theo Vaughn would say, preachy, and I'm trying to preach to you guys, but I'm not. I'm just trying to talk to myself as well as talk to you guys about what needs to go through your head for you to make 2025 you're a motherfucking bitch. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about. Making this year, you're a fucking hoe. It's hard out here for a pimp trying to make money for the rent. You know what I'm talking about? Anyways, guys, I know that was a kind of short podcast. You know, I've had shorter, but I'm just want to end off the year with a very positive note and just tell you guys it gets better. If you keep moving forward, you're gonna find that place where you belong, where you feel your purpose and you keep marching forward. And again, I just want to thank everybody. I thank everybody that was part of the In the Clouds podcast, part of the In the Clouds family, whoever supported it. Thank you so much. For those of you who didn't, just give it a chance sometimes. You might not like it. It's like eating ass. You don't know if you like it until you try it, and that's that's what my podcast is. You gotta, watch it a little bit, and then if you don't like it, it's all good. But give it a chance. Give life a chance. And that's it, guys. If you guys enjoyed this podcast, as always, do that YouTube stuff. I'm not gonna say it. I'm trying to, PG it up, guys. I'm trying to be professional. That's something that I'm really trying to do too, is be professional and keep that professional mindset, which is also in the War of Art. So just read the War of Art. That's gonna be my. I'm probably gonna read it after this, because it's so like I know it sounds like I'm a fucking sponsor, like I'm sponsored by the War of Art, but no, I am really such a big advocate. Thanks to Joe Rogan, thanks to Joey Diaz for putting me on to that book, because it's changed my life. I can't say that about many things, but that book has changed my life, and so I really suggest it. But either way, even if you don't, do all that. I was gonna say it. Do all the YouTube stuff as normal, like, comment, subscribe. But if you can't do any of those, just share the podcast. Let someone know about it. Let your grandma know about it. Let your uncle that might have, done a little something back in the day know about it. Let whoever just know about the In the Clouds podcast. That's all we're doing. We're just trying to spread the In the Clouds words. I don't want to sound like a religion or something, but hey, it might turn into it. Who knows? But no. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, stay in the clouds. Peace. Asalamalakum. Well, who fucking would have guessed it? Well, there's another fucking speed bump for you guys. Yes, this is the end of the video. I don't know when I'm going to insert this, but like I said, life is always trying to stop me. It's trying to stop us from achieving our greatest. It cuts out my video, but we're still rocking and we're still doing this. Thank you guys so much for all that you guys have done, and thanks for all the support that you've given me throughout this year, even when I wasn't thinking about you guys. Sometimes I was always in the clouds. I was always, sometimes I was drifting out, I was drifting down, but I was trying to stay in the clouds, and man, we're here. And I just want to thank everyone, and I'm super grateful for the opportunities I've been given to work on what I do. We're gonna keep marching forward, and that's all I gotta say. Thank you guys so much, and as always, stay in the clouds.